Hello everyone, welcome to LPSA, Living Positive San Antonio. This is our Tuesday night meeting. Welcome again. It's a virtual meeting for because of all the COVID going on. I'm going to give you some quick COVID numbers. The most updated numbers I have is we have 44,122 cases here in the San Antonio, Bexar County area, and that's up 70. That's actually the smallest amount of increase that we've had in quite a while. We are, by the way, on our risk level at moderate, and do want to let you know that the area schools risk level is considered high. Total deaths so far is 617. Percentage-wise, the Hispanic and Latino community has hit the hardest with 74% of the cases, followed by Caucasians at 18%. And then African American at 6% and other 2%. Might want to point out, we're not wearing our mask right now because we're going to be doing our social distancing. But if you do have your mask, don't wear it around your neck when you don't need it because you can cross-contaminate. Also want to point out something that Sylvia and Devon said last week about wearing gloves that we didn't think about, but that can actually cause cross-contamination. So maybe wearing gloves is not as good an idea as we were trying to avoid Jordan week last week. So make sure you switch them out on a regular basis. In my case, if I wear them, I usually put them on when I ride the bus. As soon as I get off the bus, I take them off. So remember that it can cause cross-contamination. If you have your gloves on while you're using your phone, you can contaminate your phone, rub your face, you can contaminate. So try to take those off as quickly as possible. They do provide some protection, but change them out. And that will probably pretty much take care of our numbers. I'm going to be joined now with by Leo, and we're going to discuss several little things here. I'm not sure what all we're discussing, other than we do have some discussions about vaccines and also things how HIV can impact brain function, I guess, and a few other things. So. It's all up to you. Let's start talking.
All right, thank you, Jace. So I am a frequent viewer of pause.com. I go on that website pretty much weekly. It is a website where you can get information about being HIV positive, as well as anything else that may affect anybody who's HIV positive. So it's a really good resource for anybody to go to if they are wanting to read up on some material. I have a few articles here that I found that I think are pretty interesting, and so I'm kind of going to go over them, and then we will, Jason and I will basically talk about the topic and kind of go a little bit more in depth. So the first article is called Hearing Test Can Assess HIV's Impact on the Brain. So basically, this article is saying that based on brainwaves, this test could also prove insight into the effects of the brain of concussions, Alzheimer's disease, and Zika virus. A test that looks at brainwaves to assess how well the brain is processing sound can shed light on HIV's effects on the organ. HIV, even when treated, impacts the central nervous system, which includes the brain. The study of the new test, which was published in Clinical Neurophysiology, was conducted as a joint effort between Dartmouth University's Giselle School of Medicine and the Auditory Neuroscience Laboratory at Northwestern University. The investigators relied on a test known as a speech-evoked frequency following response. The test records brainwaves through electrodes placed on the scalp while headphones play sounds that are common in everyday speech, such as ba, da, and ga. There are many acoustic ingredients in speech, such as pitch, timing, harmonics, and phrase, said Nina Kraus. She has a PhD as a neurobiologist at Northwestern. The FFR enables us to play sounds into the ear and study participants and figure out how good of a job the brain is doing in processing these different acoustic ingredients. The study had 68 adults living with HIV and 59 who did not. Among those who had HIV, there was evidence of disruption in their brain's response to certain speech cues. This finding held even though these participants performed normally on a standard hearing test. This discrepancy indicates that the hearing difficulties that the FFR detected were grounded in the central nervous system. When the brain processes sound, it's not like a volume knob where all the acoustic ingredients are either processed well or poorly. With the FFR, we're able to see which aspects of auditory processing are affected or diminished and ask, is there a specific neural signature that aligns itself with HIV? Kraus and her colleagues hope that the FFR can aid in assessing not only HIV's effects on the brain, but also the effects of concussions, Alzheimer's disease, and Zika virus. So, a while back I had heard that even though we may be undetectable, we may have trace amounts of HIV in our brain that is not detected because it's not in our bloodstream, it's more focused in the brain, and that can deteriorate brain function. That's why there are some individuals who experience, what do we call it?
Well, I know there are some people who experience dementia.
Yes.
And I don't know if there's a specific word or medical term for that. I mean, I've noticed there are times when just a few years ago, there'd be small things I remember that now I forget. Like, where did I put my keys? And they're right there in my hand, and that's a sign of a dementia that you have. One of the things I was trying to listen for when you was reading that specific article was whether they correlated any of that brain activity or damage to possible onset of my dementia's kicking in of Alzheimer's. And the reason I say that is because I have also read elsewhere that a lot of HIV patients, as they get older and as dementia sets in, they end up with Alzheimer's. And I just think that'd be an interesting thing to study because we do know it affects the brain, and it doesn't just get in. We said this before. It's not just in your blood; it's actually in your organs. And COVID is acting the same way. It doesn't just get in your blood system; it actually invades your organs. It invades your brain, your kidney, your heart, your lungs. It's actually within those tissues as well. So while it may not show up in your blood, it is there living within the organs within your body.
Yes, you mentioned the Alzheimer's. I know that this study in specific did say that they are trying to see if they can find if HIV does affect in terms of like Alzheimer's, Zika, and concussions. So I'm sure as they find more information, they will release it, and then PAWS will update the article so that way we can let you all know.
If y'all have any questions, please send them to us and let us know what's going on, okay? And we'll do our best to answer those questions.
Yes.
We have another article here that we're going to talk about?
Yes, so the next few articles that I pulled up essentially have to do with coronavirus and being HIV positive. I know that there are a bunch of us who are curious as to how coronavirus affects those who are HIV positive. So we will definitely be getting into that sometime soon. The next article though that I do have talks about a coronavirus vaccine and that it shows promise in its early studies. So as of right now, as of July 22nd, there are 4 vaccine candidates that are in the first stages of the human clinical trials. They are being done in the United States, the UK, China, and Germany. Experts caution that it is too soon to say if these vaccine candidates will produce long-lasting immunity in the real world. Some recent studies suggest that antibodies against the new coronavirus, officially known as SARS-CoV-2 may not last very long. But in the early findings show that COVID-19 vaccine research appears to be on the right track. Speaking at the International AIDS Conference and the American Association for Cancer Research, the National Institute of Allergy and Infectious Diseases Director Anthony Fauci predicted that at least one vaccine could be available by the end of 2020 or the beginning of 2021, beating the projection of 12 to 18 months he had made earlier in the pandemic. In a congressional hearing on July 21st, executives from leading companies in the vaccine development race gave similar timelines, but vowed not to cut corners on safety to speed up the process. Fauci says he was cautiously optimistic that effective coronavirus vaccines could be developed, noting that the chances are improved by taking multiple shots on goal. So, Jace, what do you think about a potential vaccine rising up soon?
Well, revving up soon, maybe not. Pretty simply because they're looking for volunteers, especially in the Hispanic and African American communities, because those are actually the communities that are hit the hardest. And in order to get a true scale of how it's going to affect people, they need to have the population that is affected the most involved within the testing. And that may delay the vaccine from what might have been the end of the year to possibly to the middle of next year. So yeah, they need to find more people within the affected areas. If they can do that, then yeah, we might have a vaccine soon. I know that particular article mentioned 4. There's actually now I believe 7 or 8 possible vaccines out there that could work.
Yeah, so I mean, we're all hoping for that a vaccine to come up soon because you know, we want to go back out there and party with our friends, go out clubbing, hook up with random people if we wanted to.
Well, since you mentioned that, on CNN earlier, there was a doctor who said that if we'd lived in a totalitarian government where we would have been forcibly locked down in our homes at the beginning of this, we probably would be out there enjoying our summers right now, because a virus can only go as far as the people it can infect. And if you isolate yourself completely and totally from everybody else for a span of anywhere from 4 to 8 weeks, that virus has no place to go, and it dies out. So, again, another reason to wear your mask, do the social distancing, reduce those risks of contamination.
All right, so as many of y'all are probably wondering, or maybe y'all are not, one question that I know I have thought of, and some of the people here at Living Positive have thought of as well, is will people with HIV be excluded from COVID-19 vaccine trials? So, as of August 6th, Pfizer has informed advocates that its phase 3 COVID-19 vaccine trial will include people living with HIV, hepatitis B or C. Moderna, which is developing a COVID-19 vaccine in collaboration with the National Institute of Allergy and Infectious Diseases, has agreed to include people with stable HIV in its newly opened phase 3 clinical trials, according to advocates. Other companies developing COVID-19 vaccines, including Sanofi, Novavax, and J&J, will also include HIV-positive people in their trials, according to longtime advocate Linda D. of AIDS Action Baltimore. UK advocate Gus Cairns of NAM AIDS Map reports that a phase 3 study of a vaccine from the University of Oxford and AstraZeneca will also include people with HIV. That leaves Pfizer, which is jointly developing a vaccine with BioNTech, as a holdout that still may exclude people with HIV or hepatitis B or C. But activists are working to get these exclusions removed as well. So as we do find more information about these studies, so that way if any of y'all are interested in possibly being in this study to get the vaccine, we will definitely let you guys know.
And in case anybody doesn't know, the way a vaccine is generally processed is we have to have the antibodies, which if you've been infected, you have antibodies. And that's how they're getting the antibodies, and that's why they want to do an antibody test. I might point out that if you have had COVID-19, and I actually have the article on my phone, and I'll post the link to it, you are literally immune from getting COVID again for at least 3 months. For at least 3 months. And there's another article that says 3 to 4 months. So if you have tested positive, had COVID, recovered, from the date of your recovery, you have about 3 months, approximately 3 months, where you will not, because the antibodies are already in your system, where you will not get the COVID-19 again. So there's no need for you to go get tested for at least 3 months, or unless you are absolutely sure that you're showing signs of COVID.
And that's not an excuse for you guys to go out there and
That's
drink
right.
and hang out with your
That's right.
friends.
Because you may be immune to getting COVID for 19 days, but that doesn't mean you can't spread it to somebody else.
90 days.
What did I say?
90.
90 days, excuse me, 90. So, yeah, make sure that you still use your mask, make sure you still do social distancing. Just because you can't get it doesn't mean you can't spread it to somebody else, because you can.
Yes. And I do want to thank you, Richard, for commenting about the articles. I will be uploading them on the Living Positive Facebook page, so that way if you guys want to read into these further, you're more than welcome to.
I know that you got these off of the pause.com website. Are these also published within your magazine?
Yeah.
You know?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
If you guys are interested in picking up a hard copy of the magazine, we do have them at our B-Dates office on Euclid. I believe other agencies as well have them available at the front desk area. You may just have to call and schedule an appointment ahead of time, or just ring the doorbell, so that way they can let you in.
Yeah. Anything else that we want to discuss?
Yes, so lastly I have an article about how the public health experts fear that a hasty FDA sign-off on a vaccine is coming up. So the FDA must approve any coronavirus vaccine before it's widely distributed, but political pressure could cloud the decision. The vaccine trial that Vice President Mike Pence kicked off in Miami on Monday gives the United States the tiniest chance of being ready to vaccinate millions of Americans just before Election Day. It is a possibility that fills many public health experts with dread. Among their concerns, early evidence that any vaccine works would lead to political pressure from the administration for emergency approval by the FDA. That conflict between science and politics might cause some people to not trust the vaccine and refuse to take it, which would undermine the global campaign to stop the pandemic. Or it could lead to a product that is not fully protective. Confidence in routine childhood vaccinations already shaken could decline further.
Yeah, that is one thing about rushing the vaccine, is you want a vaccine that's long-term. You don't want a vaccine that's just going to last 3-6 months, because you could have serious flare-ups. Well, you personally could have side effects, but you could have a serious flare-up of the COVID again in 6 months, if that's as long as you want to make sure it's a good length of time with the vaccine being in your system. And I mean, it's not unusual to have boosters with vaccines. I mean, as kids, you have to have boosters with a lot of the vaccines that you get. So it wouldn't surprise me if whatever vaccine is developed, that maybe in a year you have to have a booster to ensure that you stay safe. But in developing these, they do want to make sure that's good for more than just 3 months, more than 6 months, they want to extend to at least a year to 18 months, I'm sure, to ensure not only your protection from the virus, but to give the virus a chance to die out as well. And again, like I said, you may have to have a booster every so often.
Yeah. If you guys want to know more about vaccines and how they work, there's a movie called Contagion and it essentially is basically the plot of what's happening now, but in a movie that came out years ago. It outlines very, very well the process of when the first person was infected, patient 0, all the way until we have a vaccine. It's a very good movie. You can find it, I believe, on Amazon Prime or YouTube, but you'll have to pay for it, of course.
Actually, I think on Amazon Prime, I mean, if you're a Prime member, I believe that's because I don't think I paid for that, because I watched that just a few weeks ago.
Yeah, and it really
It might even be on Netflix.
it really details the difficulties that vaccines go through and all the politics that it has to go through in order for it to actually be released. You know, you have to start off with doing animal trials, or first figuring out how the virus works, and then figuring out how to combat the virus, and then testing it on animals to see if you're able to cure it on the animals, and then getting approved to see if you can start testing it on humans. And then after that, then you have to submit all of your information over to the FDA so that way it can get approved. And then once that's approved, then you have to go through distribution, and it's a very lengthy process. And so that's why this article kind of says that they are dreadful by the administration kind of urging people to come up with a vaccine as quickly as
A
possible.
good example of them pushing, I don't think it's vaccine, but it's actually medication for treatment, is, I can't remember his name, but the My Pillow guy is pushing a specific, do you remember the name of this medication that they're pushing? Off the top of your head? It has to do with flour. Anyway, it's some type of extract that they put within a medication, and he actually praises it, but yet there is no FDA testing done, as far as I know, for anyone to be making those claims that it's going to be something that works. So you want to make sure that whatever you are taking as a treatment, whatever you're taking as a vaccine, is FDA approved and has gone through the proper channels of getting that approval. Because you don't want to take something that may wind up actually killing you in the end. So.
And Sylvia does bring up a good point that with flu season coming up, it is very important that you guys take that flu shot. It is a total myth that the flu shot gives you the flu. So please, everyone, get the flu shot as soon as it's available.
Yeah.
It's very important, especially with COVID-19 out there. If you add the flu plus the COVID-19,
The thing is, whatever vaccine you get, whether it's a flu vaccine or if it's even for COVID, you can't say that you're going to get something from dead cells, because that's what you're basically getting. You're getting that flu cell, but it's dead, and it's just training your immune system to recognize that flu shot or that flu specific strain, or in this case maybe COVID, and it trains your body to attack it and kill it before it can do anything else to you.
So once again, if you guys get the chance to watch Contagion, it's a great movie. It has, what's her name? Gwyneth Paltrow. She plays the perfect patient 0. It's really good. I suggest that anybody who has the ability to watch it. It gives you a deeper understanding of what the nation is going through at this time, and kind of like broadens your horizon as to like how it's not just affecting us personally, it's affecting the whole nation and the world.
I do want to give a quick shout out and say hi to the people who have comments so far. There's Richard, Sylvia, and David. I want to say hi to you guys and thank y'all for joining us. And for any of the other people that are joining us tonight, we appreciate it.
Yes. Welcome, David. I know it's been a while since we've seen or heard from you. We're glad to know that you're doing well.
He's back home, by the way, unless he's left since yesterday.
He's in Indiana.
He's in Indiana.
Oh, well, David, you left. And you didn't invite me to steak night, I'm going to add.
Right.
And for those of you all that have family members that are positive with COVID-19 who may be in the hospital or maybe at home, social distancing from you all, we would like to have a moment of silence so that way we can honor the people. So we will be having a moment of silence for about
2 minutes, 10 seconds.
2 minutes.
for 2 minutes.
I do want to point out that Wayne has let us know that Contagion is available on Hulu and Netflix.
And if you guys want, Jace will give you his Netflix information. Alright guys, thank you. We are going to go ahead and bring on Santiago and Wayne. They will be concluding the second half of this meeting.
Hey, how's it going, guys?
Hey, Nani.
Hey, just in case before y'all ask, or before there's any comments, this table is 6 feet, so we do have a distance. So before anybody starts complaining, just want to leave that known. Also, we need to remind most of y'all that this is an open group. Everybody's welcome. Gay, straight, transgender, alpha, whatever. This is welcome to everybody. This is not a gay group. This is an open group for everybody.
Affected, effective.
Right. We have a lot of allies, a lot of supporters that come to our group as well. Family members. We have some that the son might be affected and the mother and the father come for support. The boyfriend that is not positive or living with is here for support. So everybody's welcomed. Right now we're virtual, but...
We provided support for those who have been sick in the past.
Right, and those that have been sick in the past, as like Jay said. So whenever we do decide to come back live, understand the doors are always open for everybody. The chat room is always open to everybody. So if you have something to say, please say it. Don't hold your tongue. Don't expect us to hold our tongue, but please share what you feel. So, Mr. Wayne, what would you like to say?
Welcome back, everybody. Well, basically what Santiago and I are going to do is just kind of bounce around between hot topics and things like that. One of the first things that I wanted to make aware of is DHS has announced that anyone that's been testing in the state of Texas through Walgreens, who recently started testing, there has been a coding area on 59,000 tests. So there's 59,000 people that need to go back. I can't tell you exactly what the numbers are in each town, but it's Walgreens. And if you tested with Walgreens, DHS is saying to go back and to redo that test because they were giving out false negatives and things like that. So to make sure that you're keeping yourself safe or whether to do that. Another thing I wanted to bounce around, getting ready for this weekend, there is a tropical storm that's coming in. They're saying 3 inches of rain between Friday night, Saturday, and Sunday, mainly on Saturday. So think ahead. Those of us like myself that ride the bus and things like that might want to plan ahead and plan out. Plan out to get things earlier on Thursday rather than being caught in all the middle of this. And I'm going to bounce over to you for a second.
Okay, so he brought up Walgreens. So a few of us got tested at Walgreens. I got tested, actually twice, and Wayne got tested. But I also found the link that I provided last week, Pixela, and because I wanted another source. It's good just to stay with one place, but I understood this one was free, and I also understood that this only would take 4 days. So anybody that tested last week with Pixel, hey, give us a shout out, tell us how it worked out for you. If you got your kit right away, and if you already got your results right away, please tell us. If you're negative and if you end up becoming positive, hey, we're here for you. If you need anything from us, we'll stop by. Yes, Jason.
I do have a question about the Pixel. Do you know the labs that are doing the testing? Somebody told me it was LabCorp. Do you know if that's correct or?
That I cannot answer.
It is LabCorp.
What was that? What was the question?
Who the lab was that was doing the testing for Pixel?
The whole name is Pixel LabCorp.
So it is LabCorp?
Yeah,
Okay.
that's when you receive it, it actually says on their box, Pixel LabCorp.
That was a question posed to me.
So did it actually? I'll just ask again. Did anybody actually get tested with Pixel or order to get your results? Though it's not required to have a second negative, I myself only got a negative. I got a negative from Walgreens, and I also got a negative from Pixel. I am gonna wait till the end of the month maybe and get one through the VA. I was supposed to get one last week. Something happened that I wasn't able to make my appointment, so I just decided, I'm gonna wait another 30 days to take my test again. But like you said, if you did get a negative from Walgreens and you feel some sort of way about it, just go get tested again with the Pixel or with another company if you like, of your choice. So that was my part about that. And let me remind you, because it did come up before, and I just reminded one person a few minutes ago, but I'm assuming the second person didn't listen to me when I said, do not wear your mask under your chin. Either just take it off or wear it. So, I guess he knew I was going to say something. He said it fell down. All right, good to go. But remember, do not wear your mask. If you're going to wear it or just take it off. Do not wear it and then put it down, because any bacteria or anything you had is going to affect your neck or anything around you and all the clothes. So make sure you just take the thing off. Make sure you stay 6 feet away from each other. That's my little rant pretty much about that. I want everybody to be healthy. I want everybody to come back soon to our group where we were a good size. We were 30, 40 people plus on a good day. So as soon as we start getting better, we'll be able to come back. Until then, until the numbers go down, we will stay as we are right now. Via Zoom, via Facebook, via whatever. That's, like I said, my little rant. We do have other topics to talk about. Pretty much, I don't want to say it's a free-for-all, but
I won't interrupt it when you're done and jump.
but we are talking about just random things that are happening right now.
So what I wanted to go back to the Pixel LabCorp was to emphasize that it's free, or if you have insurance, once you go in and you start filling out where it says to purchase the kit, you can go in and there's going to be an area where you can check off, I have insurance, I don't have insurance. There's a federal grant that pays to CVS right now or to Walgreens where they do it for free. And this is actually much easier and a lot faster. You basically, when I did my first one with them, I filled it out Monday night. Tuesday morning, FedEx dropped the kit off to me. I did it that day. Santiago and I went, we dropped them off before last pickup through FedEx. We got a text that night that our culture or specimen, whatever you want to call it, was delivered to their lab. They tested it the following morning, and it was on day 5 or day 4. I got one in 4 days, one in 5 days. At the end of the night or the next morning, you get your results. So, but just wanted to put that out there that it is free and it's so much more convenient. You don't have to wait in a line for an hour and a half or anything like that. The craziness of being 20th in line, trying to go through, or get to your appointment and wait an hour and 45 minutes till your turn.
I mean, there was one lady that I was reading online that she waited in her car for 8 hours. to go get tested. You know, there's other people. I know that me and Wayne waited, and I even got there early. At the Walgreens on the east side, for WWY.
2
We
hours.
pretty much waited almost 2 hours.
CVS.
Though,
CVS.
was it CVS?
Yeah, we went to CVS last night. East side of CVS. I filled it out.
Okay, so we went all the way over there. I can't remember. To go get tested, and we still had, even though my appointment was, or our appointment was at 1 o'clock, and I got there at 12:45, we still didn't do our drive up till like 2 hours later. So understand it is time consuming, so try to get there a little earlier. But not only that, I was about to say something else. And I understand you get what you pay for. So if it's free, yes, there's going to be a long line. You're going to have to wait, you know. But I did it with Pixel. Again, it took 4 days for me. With Walgreens or CVS, I really don't remember which one it was now. I think it was CVS. It took me 11 days to find out that I was negative. So you choose which one you want, but you know, just make sure you get yourself tested. If you choose not to get tested and you just rather just do a self-quarantine, hey, that's good to go too as well. There was a friend of mine that I just found out that just did a self-quarantine, and he really didn't go out, didn't do anything for what, 10, 14 days. So he's good, you know. Again, I do miss all of y'all, 90% of y'all. I'm kidding. I do miss a lot of y'all. I miss the going back, the heckling and everything, and just being around y'all, being the bingo and whatnot. But again, we need more topics. We need to hear from you. What do you want to talk about? Do you want to talk about boyfriend issues, lover issues, divorce, how to get yourself a man?
Fine and dandy by myself. No, I'm not. I'm just not going about your way of getting a man.
So there's millions ways to get yourself a significant other. There's all these apps. Actually, it's funny I'm saying this because I was just watching Dr. Phil today, and see that? So there was this guy. I guess he really wanted attention, and he was just looking for somebody to love and somebody to love him back. So he found himself a girlfriend or a few girlfriends that he was sending money to. Well, apparently the ex-wife found out, and she got on him because he never met with these women. He was just sending them money, like $2,000, $3,000, $5,000, and where this guy had the mega bucks is now broke and is not paying, and I think was even borrowing money or taking money away from the ex-wife. So where the ex-wife had a beautiful, 3-4 bedroom house, is now living in a 1-bedroom apartment. This goes back to depression when you feel like you need somebody, and one of the, I don't say he was an audience member, I think it was a doctor that said I was just, doing that while I was doing some other stuff. Pretty much said, look, there's Tinder, there's eHarmony, there's all these other things. Even if you're not meeting them virtually, you're talking to somebody and it's making you feel wanted per se. And I tell most people, if you're gonna get on Grindr, have no expectations, because you don't know if it's gonna be a fake profile or a real profile. But you're going to end up meeting somebody, talking with somebody. I wouldn't share so much information with that person unless you actually get to meet that person. I've had some people that, hey, I'm in Russia. I can't be on this site. Send me your phone number or send me your email. I'm like, here's where I would cuss, but since I can't cuss nowadays, and so unless I'm out of here, I just said no. I actually didn't even respond, to be truthful. I do believe in chatting with people, getting to know. Sometimes it just makes your day just go by a whole lot faster. Instead of being home alone, especially during this time of quarantine, and not being able to go out to bars and clubs and chat with other people. If y'all have any other suggestions, hey, go for it.
Sure, give me your Obama phone number.
You know, and if you have
You
an
can't get
Obama
anything that
phone,
way.
if you have an Obama phone number / Google number, hey, give them that. Never give them your real phone number. So it won't. So if they ever do try to stalk you, you can just block them that way. But I'm trying to think of other topics we could talk about. Love the Queens.
Oh dear Jesus. Look at the questions.
I got tested from CVS and tested from Texas, both negative, and that was last month. Now, even though I'm negative, when should I be tested again?
Okay, so Michael, thank you for your question. That's a good question. As Jake said earlier, you know, over the antibodies being in your system, it'd be best to test yourself. I would test myself just like STDs every month, but Jake's pretty much said every 3 months.
That's if you have tested positive for COVID.
Exactly. If you
If you
tested
haven't,
positive.
the same article that I was reading says it doesn't hurt. Obviously, if you feel like you're having symptoms, you need to go get tested pretty quickly. If you're not doing it, feeling any symptoms, once a month, once every 45 days is
So,
sufficient.
I don't know if you can hear him, but he's pretty much said, in short, once a month or every 45 days to get tested. If you have not had any symptoms and if you were not diagnosed positive at any time. But here's another question that I'll be bringing up to y'all too. Everybody that has tested positive, what symptoms do you still feel like you have? Do you still feel like you have headaches, migraines? Do you still feel like throwing up? Do you still have body aches? And if so, have you talked to your doctor and explained to him, look, I'm still having these. I'm still having back pains. Or the back pains I had have increased. Or the headaches I've had, now I wake up with migraines every morning. Or my feet feel swollen. Or I'm still not eating what I was eating. Where I was eating three times a day, now I'm eating 5 times a day. Am I eating more? Am I eating less? You know, these are things that you need to bring up to your prime care doctor or your nurse practitioner. Because if you decide not to tell them, they're going to think you're okay, there's nothing wrong. So later on, when something does affect you permanently, your doctor can say, well, why didn't you tell me this 3 months ago or 2 months ago or a month ago?
Matter of fact, on CNN 2-3 days ago, they actually were talking about that. And in some cases, the lasting effects have gotten worse.
Exactly, and I've heard that too, that the lasting effects is increasing and it's getting worse. Like I said, the migraines, the backaches, you know, the tingling. If you've had any numbness and you feel it, you know, make a note. Tell your doctor. If you feel like you're...
I still get the hand that feels like it's went to sleep in the head.
Right.
It's almost daily. The headache's almost daily.
Exactly. So you need to make sure your doctor knows this, because if it gets worse, it's better that he knows now than later. You know, you might be crying about every little thing, being nitpicky, but if you don't say nothing, it's not going to be corrected later on or taken care of later on. Did you have any other comments?
No, I was going to say nitpicky. Yeah, you have to be nitpicky.
Well, yeah, I mean, this is your health.
Nobody's gonna take
It's-
your
it's-
health.
Yeah, exactly. Nobody's going to take care of you other than you. So if you don't talk to your doctor and tell them, look, I'm waking up with migraines. In the mornings, my fingers feel like they're numb and I can't really text on Grindr or something like that. You know, I'm trying to make fun of it at the same time, but I'm being serious at the same time. You need to make sure you're okay. If it's something that before COVID it wasn't happening and is now it's happening after COVID or after you're positive, tell your primary care doctor. If you have a social worker, make sure your social worker knows this. Notes it on her notes, because if you belong to one of the agencies, as far as San Antonio AIDS Foundation, SAVE, or you go to Alamo Area Resource Center, ARC, or if you go to B, and don't ask me for the acronym either, or any other.
Seriously, BEAD? BEAD Coalition?
No, B stands for something.
Oh, does it?
Yes.
Sorry, I didn't know that.
It's just black and blue.
What is it?
Black effort against the threat of AIDS or
Black
HIV and
efforts
AIDS.
against the threat of AIDS.
So PAIDS stands for Black Africans,
Black effort
Black effort.
a black effort
against
against
the threat of HIV and
the
AIDS.
threats of HIV. Everything has an acronym. And there's two more, which I get off Grindr and no, just kidding. He's not on Grindr.
Richard mentioned a topic. He says how to keep a man.
Actually, that's true. That would be a good topic, and I'm not saying right now. We also have the next Tuesdays for the rest of our lives. But how to keep a man, how to keep him happy, how to keep him period. But how to keep, my thing is not having to keep a man is important. But how to keep yourself happy as well by keeping a man or keeping a significant other. Because again, I don't want all the topics to be gay, because there's already been comments that this is a gay group. This is not a gay group. Again, this is for everybody. So if you're straight and you're trying to keep a man, we're here to help you out. And I'm not saying that we all have men or women, but if you have this thing of jumping from man to man to man to man, is it the man's fault or is it your fault that you're just finding the same man?
Not a fault necessarily, just not a fit, like the word fault.
So that again, that would be a good topic. Any other topics would be good too. I'm gonna bring this out again, though I've had that look the past 2 days. Has anybody found a nice restaurant to go eat? There's a lot of foodies in this area. There's a lot of foodies in this group. A lot of foodies. I'm the first one,
Big old.
Where's the best place for you to have tacos on Taco Tuesday? Matter of fact, today, where did you go for Taco Tuesday? What are y'all gonna do for Labor Day weekend? That's another topic.
Parks are closed.
Remember, and I brought this up to the guys earlier, the parks are gonna be closed because look at the last 2 holidays. We had Memorial Weekend. Our numbers went sky high. I don't say our numbers, but San Antonio numbers went sky high. Because everybody just relaxed and didn't give a hoot. And so our numbers pretty much almost doubled. So by the parks being closed, just like during Easter, is great. I have no problem with it because that means there's more people staying home. But the more people staying home, hopefully the less parties there are at home. There's no reason to go to somebody's house, 20 people plus, just to go party, unless you have a thermometer and you're checking everybody at the door like you were at a bar or club, then do that. But if you're just having random people at your house because it's Memorial Weekend or Labor Day weekend, matter of fact, because you want to drink or whatever, you're putting yourself in that situation. So again, I go with check yourself, check anybody that goes to your house. I don't want to hear about anybody else getting sick. I do care about a majority of this group. Like I said, a majority, I didn't say all of them. But, I just say that as a joke, Mark. Mark gives me this look like 99.9 people in this group. But let's get back to, again, the parks will be closed during Labor Day weekend. Unfortunately, that I don't know why it includes the dog parks. Because during Easter, the dog parks were closed too, because I wanted to take my dogs. And when I went there, the first time passing by, I think I said this before, it was open, so I rushed home real quick, got the dogs, threw them in my car, went back, and it was taped up. And I was throwing a little fit.
I have a quick question about that, because like during Easter and stuff, the parks were closed, but like the walking trails and jogging trails were open. Are they closing everything?
They did. All they said on the news was the parks. They didn't say nothing about the trails. But even then, last time they left the trails open during Easter.
And they taped off the playground and park area.
Right.
They taped it off. They changed. The one by my house actually had a big old chain with lock all around it.
So, because I'm not wearing my glasses, I'm really not answering a lot of questions if there are questions.
I want to know where Eddie's Taco House is.
Oh, Eddie's Taco House is pretty good.
Jay said Eddie's Taco House, and you didn't send me a response.
Eddie's Taco House, isn't that the one off of South Presa? Or is it Pleasanton? It's on the right side. That's the one with the skulls and the mural of one of the Spurs, I think. I don't
You
know.
just described 5 places.
No. That's
the Spurs.
It's past. It's past. Steve's Avenue. You know where the Circle K is, and then there's one more block right there.
Does it look like I'd go to Circle K? I don't even know where Circle K is.
Circle K and Shell. This boy
How many
thinks
times?
he's South Side,
How
and when
many-
you name something from the South Side,
I am
oh,
Southeast
I don't know.
Side. I am Southeast Side. How many times
Okay.
do you see me up and down Steve Street?
There was one night at 2 o'clock in the morning. I really thought I saw you.
I can promise you in my neighborhood at 9:15 I am not outside until 6 a.m.
Okay.
Oh, there he is. 402 East Cavazos.
Cavazos Ceballos.
Ceballos. I don't have my right glasses on either. 402 East Ceballos. So there you go, Eddie's Taco House. I'm going to go try that.
Okay, so we're gonna go try it out as a group before our next meeting and rate it. Actually, I think we should start rating restaurants. That's now Mark's like every Tuesday's Taco Tuesday. We're going to a different taco place. But if there's a restaurant that you recommend, hey, tell us. If there's a restaurant you tell us that sucks, hey, tell us. That way we don't go there. If there's some gay-friendly restaurants other than Luther's, tell us, hey, this place is very gay-friendly. The wait staff is amazing. Even if it's not a gay restaurant, if it's just a regular restaurant, tell us. I went to a restaurant on Saturday or Sunday. I forgot what the name of the restaurant was. But it's off of Bitters. And it was
actually me the New York Cafe and then sent me the picture of the Sunday and then tried to lie to me and tell me it was Sonic. I'm not happy about that.
I never said it was Sonic.
I got the text.
Show me.
Let me get back in the group because that's it.
Anyway, this restaurant was really good. Apparently, I think this is the only restaurant in town. But to me, I felt like it was far. But was it worth it? Yes, it was. For the money, to go all the way that side to get large portions that you really don't get at other restaurants. They're usually like half the portions. The person I'm with did not even eat all the macaroni. So I took half the macaroni because, matter of fact, some of the leftovers that were still there, I made another meal, and I'll post the pictures later on. But, tell us what you want to talk about. If you want to talk about, like you said, how to keep a man or how to get rid of a man, hey, we can tell you how to do that too. We know people. I'm kidding. I'm not going to hit a hit, man.
Max and Louie's New York Diner.
Okay, where on there does it say Sonic?
Oh, trust me, I'm fixing to bring it up.
Good. So Max and Louie's New York Diner was awesome. I would definitely go back.
What do they serve there?
They serve, oh my God. You know how hard it is to find a good pastrami sandwich? They had it there, dude. They had a Rachel and they had a regular pastrami sandwich. They had a turkey sandwich and then I had an open-faced turkey sandwich. I was like, yo, I'm ready to go back. The individual I went with went there 2 days in a row because it was that good.
Is it like a New York style deli type?
Yes.
Yes, just,
It's the banana split at Sonic.
I didn't say it's the banana, so let me see it.
No, I'm wrong. I'm lying.
I know. You see, he wants to prove me wrong because I know I didn't say. Because I sent him a picture. I posted a picture.
You said the banana split at Sonic is really good though.
Because he lives right next to Sonic. So, what is like 2 blocks, and why don't you walk your little happy butt to Sonic and get yourself a banana split?
Sonic is 0.78 miles from my house.
0.7. How far could that be?
So what's
Not
mine?
far at all.
Uphill.
Anyways. You want me to call him?
Yes, this is.
Okay, so with that said, again, please tell us what you want us to talk about next week. We can always change our schedule, what our topics are. That's not a problem with any of us. But our next guest speaker.
I'm gonna throw something in there really quick before Mark comes on.
Cheating.
I'm gonna give you a shout out here in a second. I wanted to let everybody know, I attended a conference this last week, on and off, on and off. There's a lot of new funding that's come through. I'll put my number, text me or call me. Call me, if you call me and I don't answer, just text me, hey, it was me calling or whatever. And, I can show you some ways of maybe getting some help with different things. Funding has come through a bunch of different things.
I do have one quick question on that. I know there's new funding, but is there additional funding in addition to what normal funding is available? Or is it just an increase in the?
There's an increase in some stuff. There's some things federal that are on a wait list, but there's still things locally through Bexar County that you can get help with, emergency-wise. Tomorrow as well at the Mexican American Unity Council building on Commerce is going to have another produce box that they hand out. I've taken it myself personally 2 weeks in a row. It's very good. You can share it with family and friends. It's going to be from
It's from 10 to 1.
10 to 1 o'clock. Mexican American Unity Council. It's on Commerce Street right next to the
Bazan Library.
Bazan Library.
And it's a good sized box. You'll get potatoes. I think there was some cabbage,
Apples, onions,
apples, freaking onions,
plums.
plums, green apples, oranges. So even if you don't get it for yourself,
Because we got a cantaloupe in one of our boxes.
oh yeah, I did too. I got that. I got myself one. I went and got my grandma one, and I got another individual. So get that. So again, hit us up. And also, I'm gonna put Wayne out there. He's 50 years old, single. He likes long walks in the park.
Men with beards.
Men with beards,
Specific.
and anybody under 5'5".
Or 6 foot higher.
Thank you. Y'all have a good day.
Okay, guys, this is gonna be quick. A couple of you guys been asking when are we gonna come back to it on point. At this moment, we do not have an answer for that. We're still waiting on the numbers to go down a little bit, and if we do, it's gonna be only about 10 people allowed in the group, to start off with. Another question was, brought up twice, actually was brought up this week, if we are gonna have guest speakers. The answer is yes. We're looking into that, and one of the questions was, can one of our members be a guest speaker too? The answer is yes also. We will sit down with you, talk about the topic you guys want to talk about, and we'll go from there. We're going to try a different format next week also. Hopefully everything works out. The gentleman who's going to be here is going to present something also that hopefully it works out. I know I'm baffling, but it's okay. They asked about us, how can I put this? We are based here in San Antonio, of course. They asked if we're gonna be expanding to other cities. Yes, we are planning to do that. At the moment, we cannot do anything, everything's on hold because of COVID. As soon as COVID settles down, or hopefully it'll end pretty soon, if we all do the right things, take care of ourselves, wear a mask, we can move on. But at this moment, this is how we're doing everything at the moment, through Facebook Live. Do share the videos, do support us. I'm saying Allah. So, on that note, another thing, do not forget to vote, so we know. It's really important we change things around. I know politics is not mixed really well, but that's something I really want to force on everybody.
We will post the Bexar County, I can't remember exactly what it's called, but it has to do with where you can check your voter registration, make sure you're registered to vote. We'll post that on the Facebook
Okay,
Live.
Jace will do that here pretty soon.
Voter.org.
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 So we'll be posting that also on here. That's really about it that I have. Does anybody else have anything to say? Leo, Jay, Santiago, Wayne?
I posted my number, anyone can call me, I'll put it on the actual face page too.
So,
We had 298 views on last week's video.
we had 298, you said?
Views.
Last week's video. Guys, do share the video. Do invite your friends next time.
Do we not have some new members join this?
Yes, we had some new members join in actually this week. I wish I would have wrote the names down. We should start doing that here pretty soon also. If anybody has any topics they'd like us to discuss, be free to email me, send me a message, call me. My phone number is on Facebook. I'll post it again. Wayne will post his phone number also. I don't know about Santiago, but I'm good. Santiago's good, he says. But Leo, I'll post Leo's number and I'll post Jake's number also in the coming up week.
I'll give you my Google number.
You'll give me his Google number. Okay. So on that note, I want to thank everybody for tuning in tonight. And guys, we love you and see you next week.
Bye guys.
Bye.
Good night.